time to once again walk the actual path of exile, unlike the other streamers who are purely posing when they play. 2 minutes. Anyone who was not here yesterday is probably going to be a tad confused with what they're about to see. But I stand by it being a good idea. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, now we're pathing. Now we're exiling. Because unlike all of the other Path of Exile streamers who are purely just sitting down while walking the path, I am walking the path. Oh yeah. Sitting in their little chairs. Safety. They're not walking the Path of Exile too, are they? I am. This is the path of Exile 2. And we are going to play like this. The room is going to be shrunk down slightly, but I am going to be walking the entire time while playing this. I've got the game in front of me, windowed mode, of course. Why would you play anything other than windowed mode? It is truly the superior mode. In fact, what I'll do, I'll make it a bit bigger. Here we go. See? Look, this is what we've got. This is kind of where we are within the year. For anyone who's unsure what's going on here, for Christmas I decided to gain weight, apparently. And I thought, that's not great. Now, you can be as big or as small as you want to be. That's absolutely fine. There is nothing that makes you better or worse than anyone else based on how big or how small you are. But personally, I want to be as fit as I can possibly be. And I realised I was spending 6, maybe 7 hours a day sat in front of a screen, playing video games, writing scripts, recording voiceovers, editing stuff, and it's beginning to take its toll. If you want to go on a walk for 2 or 3 hours a day, that's taking 2 or 3 hours out of your day. That's time that you could be working, time you could be playing. But what if you could be efficient? What if you could stack this time together? What if you could walk and work at the same time? Hence, under-desk treadmill. However, after purchasing the under-desk treadmill, I realised I couldn't afford a standing desk, so I've stacked a load of Warhammer boxes up on my actual desk and just kind of raised the keyboard and mouse height up to where it roughly needs to be. Now this can go up to 6 kilometers an hour, which is very fast. Currently we're on 2.5. We might get up to 3 later if we're feeling crazy. But I've even got a cup of tea as well. Sure, I can walk and drink at the same time. I spoke too soon. I just spilled tea on myself. We are 5 minutes into the stream, and I have spilled tea on my white shirt. Brilliant. Good start, Josh. Good start. I guess I need to change. Always have a spare white shirt on. Right, now let's play the game. That's the kind of comedy you get when you come to this stream. No one expected it. I've been waiting to do that for the last half an hour. Oh, I was so ready for that joke. I was sat downstairs having breakfast thinking, oh, this is going to be cracking. This is going to work really well. And you know what? My God, it did. That's 2 health bars, the streamer. That's what you get. How's everyone doing today? How's everyone's Christmas and New Year? Hope you've all had a lovely Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Join me as we play some Path of Exile 2. Now, yesterday I was leveling my Archmage, which the whole point of the Archmage is actually to farm items for the build that I'm currently playing. But I thought I'll show you the build that I'm playing so you kind of understand the vibe that I want to be going with. Where's the... Oh yeah, I forgot to put the game on, didn't I? Hang on. There we go. There's the game. You can see the game now. I was so into it that I forgot to show you the actual game, but I'll put here. Yeah, we can see the game very well. Now there we go. See? I'm walking, you're here, we're all good. The Path of Exile is about to be walked. So this is the stat stacking gemling build. A beautiful build. I'll talk you through how it works in a second. I'll show you exactly what it's going to go on. Why are there no fluffy bunny slippers? Oh, okay, also, I discovered something new, and this I think will speak to the level of jank that this stream is. Apparently, walking on a treadmill like this can build up a substantial amount of static electricity, which is pretty dangerous to computers and stuff. So you need to ground yourself. Most people do this through having a physical grounding wire connecting them to something on the ground, some earth, some metal, something like that. I don't have that. So what I've got is, I've got a spare tripod next to me here, which is metal, that I am occasionally just going to shock myself on in order to dissipate all that static electricity. Is it a good idea? No, probably not. Will it work? Yes, because of science. So that's kind of what I'm going with there. Every 10 minutes or so, I get a little static shock as a treat. Little treat for myself there, while walking on the treadmill, while doing these things. Well, let's sell some stuff. Let's see what I no longer need. Most of this I've picked up simply because I need to redo my stats. Now, the way that the gemling is built is a little bit weird. It's kind of a class that can do a bit of everything. I'll explain what I'm doing. Has anyone not played? I'm making shock builds in real life. Has anyone not played this game? Just so you kind of... I have to work out what I'm kind of explaining with this. So my attack... I'm using... This is the skill tree. Now, the skill tree in Path of Exile 2 it's more of a skill forest and less of a skill tree. It's absolutely bloody huge. There's 1,500 possible nodes on it. It's a skill jungle. There's 1,500 nodes on this. And what you're not meant to do is start kind of down here and then end up kind of up here. However, you can do that, and the stat stacking gemling does this on purpose. So this is what's happening. Let me explain. In fact, I've got loads of gem spots spare, so my character's going to be even more powerful than it is now. I'm playing a class called the Gemling. The Gemling class... It's this cool dude just here. Now, the Gemling doesn't really have any specialty, and that's because you can be good at everything, provided you build it. And I'm pretty much built around this node just here. Inherent bonuses from intelligence, strength, and dexterity are doubled. Now, your regular bonus from intelligence is an extra 2 mana, so I'm getting an extra 4 mana per point. Strength is 2 life, so I'm getting 4 life per point. And dexterity, I don't actually know what that's about. I think it's evasion. Yeah, oh, accuracy. No one cares about accuracy. So it turns out that when you do that, the most efficient way of using the skill tree is just pathing straight to the nodes that give you loads of strength, or loads of dexterity, or loads of intelligence, while kind of ignoring everything else. What I've then got is, you'll notice up here I have strength 302, dexterity 256, intelligence 378. That's a weirdly balanced build. That shouldn't work. However, check out the weapon that I'm running. The weapon I'm running is called Pillar of the Caged God. Pillar of the Caged God is 2% increased area of effect for every 5 intelligence, 2% increased attack speed for every 5 dexterity, and 12% increased weapon damage for every 5 strength. So this weapon actually benefits from me having extremely balanced stats. But is there any other way that I could also make balanced stats work? Well, I've got these gloves called Hands of Wisdom and Action. 3% increased attack speed per 25 dexterity, and 1 to 10 lightning damage per 10 intelligence. So these are armoured gloves that are effectively giving me more speed and more damage based on this. So this is the perfectly balanced build. What that means is, normally when you attack, if you watch the character now, you'll do 1 hit, then another, and then a bit of a twirl, a bit of a flourish. Like that, see? But the cool thing is, I can just hold down attack. And that happens. Now, the cool thing about holding down attack is it combines with a couple of other gems. I've got the Herald of Ice, which is when I freeze an enemy, an ice explosion happens. And I've got Herald of Thunder, which is when I shock an enemy, a thunder explosion happens. And I'm freezing and shocking because the Tempest Flurry attack that I was just using is doing both physical, fire, cold, and lightning damage. All of the elements are all there. So what I'm going to do now is open this breach and just hold down attack. See what happens. I'm probably going to die at this bit, by the way, because breaches are difficult with this. You stick down Tempest Bell, smack the Tempest Bell like this, and suddenly you're hitting everything all the time, all around. We've already got a couple of Exalteds and whatnot. It's difficult to keep breaches going in this kind of level, because the problem with this level is everything is close to each other. But if I hold down Shift, I can also stand still and just smack this bell. This breach will keep expanding as long as I keep killing things, and as long as I keep holding down attack, I'll just keep killing things. This is the plan. Now, this isn't even the best attack with this build. I could be using Ice Strike instead, which does slightly more damage. It's difficult to keep a breach open on a map when you have walkways. We've got a couple of things going. Is this the scoliosis stream? Hey, this is how I walk normally. If you're lucky later, I'll crouch. See? You get a bit of crouching action, bit of creeping going on. Must walk faster to generate more electricity for my PC. I've got a cup of tea. I've got all the shards I need. We've got some Exalted, some Catalysts. Beautiful little stuff right there. This was the worst map to have a breach on. Now, that's Tempest Flurry, which is where my stick kind of spins around electric-wise. What if we want to do something other than Tempest Flurry? Well, you'll see if I move the chat, you'll see some numbers here. Tempest Flurry right now is doing 58,000 DPS, but that's not quite the real number, because I've got this thing just here. Ice Bite. It's not on Tempest Flurry, because Tempest Flurry is not 5-linked yet. Attacks gain 35% of cold damage for 3 seconds on freezing an enemy. Now, the cold damage that Ice Strike would be doing is, it's not bad, but it needs to be more. So if I stick all of these gems onto Ice Strike instead, we're now doing 77,000 damage, and I just hold right-click. Now, Ice Strike doesn't move as quickly, but what it does is it actually jumps from enemy to enemy. And every time I freeze an enemy, you get an ice explosion that happens. So if I find a big group of enemies, all I've got to do is hold down Ice Strike and watch what happens. You get a huge ice explosion combined with an electric explosion, and then everything dies. Now, this isn't even the final form of this. There are changes that we need to see on this build. Many changes. The problem is the changes require extremely expensive rare items. Let's get a ritual altar going on. Let's stick down a bell and just smack it a couple of times, see what happens. Yeah, that'll work. And everything dies pretty quickly. Any uniques going on the special altar? No, we got no uniques. Shame. Well, one more altar to find though somewhere. This is the Go Beyond Plus Ultra build. I still need to reassess where some of my numbers are. That was a big ice explosion right there. I love that. Love that about this build. Makes me happy. This is very much the one-button build. You don't really need to pay too much attention while you're using this. We can still get one hit. We can very much still get one hit. That will happen at some point. Don't worry about that. We will definitely get one hit killed. I don't think there's anything that I need from here, so I'm going to buy the orbs, seeing as they seem to be the most useful thing from this. What a setup. Oh yeah, I mean, in the game or in real life? Are we talking a good setup for the walking the actual path? This is the single button build. Now, it's not the greatest. There are streamers who have done it way better than I've done it. Ooh, hang on, look at that. Fire resistance, cold resistance, and lightning resistance. Will that cap my reses out? Oh no, it won't. So close though. Now, I've also, just so you know about my defense, I've got 78 fire, 79 cold, 79 lightning, and 18 chaos. So defense is actually pretty good with this. Do you forget how to walk if you think about it? I don't think about anything ever. So, I've got an advantage with that. I did realise I forgot to get myself a gamer subs. That's going to be a problem. You'll also notice the bottom left, I have 23 shield, which is not a lot of shield. It's really not. But it's there for emotion. That's my emotional support shield. That's what that is. Now, the only other thing I really need is a stellar amulet. You guys see a stellar amulet? You shout out, because that stellar amulet could complete this build. Could be big. We won't see one because of how ridiculously rare they are, but it could be big. This is also only a level 2 map, so don't be thinking this is impressive yet. We'll try and throw in some more difficult maps as and when. But this is the build. This is the plan. Yeah, 23 energy shield it's very much just, it's ceremonial, if anything. That's all it is. It's just ceremonial amount of energy shield. Any muscle soreness after yesterday? No, I'm good actually. Cardio is one thing I can do. In fact, one thing that humans are great at is just like 1 kilometre an hour. No, this is actually 2.5. We can go up to 3 later on when I'm feeling a bit spicy. But one thing humans are good at is stamina. Humans were endurance animals. Humans can't run as fast as other animals. What we can do is we can just keep going. Like if a cheetah chases a human, obviously the cheetah's going to win. It's super duper fast. But the thing is, a cheetah needs to refill its energy. Humans were endurance hunters. We must have been terrifying to the animal world. Because you could run away from a human, sit down, have a nap, wake up from the nap, and that human, that's still going after you. That's still just walking. Will the treadmill get faster? It will not. That's far too complicated. You expect far too much of me. How has that got 1, 2, 3, 4... How has that got that many additions to it? Armor, energy shield, increased armor, life, spirit, strength, cold, and regen. That's a lot of stuff going on with one thing. But I don't need it. What else we've got? Oh, breach band. Hang on. This could be good. Adds cold damage, increased rarity, life regen. Breach bands... ooh, is it worth me throwing an exalt onto this breach band just here? It's not bad cold damage. Rarity, lightning... I don't think it's worth it. I don't think we've got... No, it's not worth that at all. Let's sell that. We don't need you. Everything else can go in the bank. And then what I can actually do is move around some stats. Make my build slightly better. Oh yeah. It's good build time now. It's time to make the build even better. 23,000. Let's see what I can switch. Now the reason I'm switching stuff is because I actually think that I've not found yet the perfect balance of damage. For example, right now my intelligence is the highest, my dexterity is the lowest. If I were to switch this from intelligence to dex, what would happen? Well, I actually think that my damage would go up slightly. So let's see what happens if we switch from intelligence to dex. From 77,000 we get a 79,000. Okay, that's a good switch. What if we switch this intelligence to dex? Oh, 78. That's not good. What if we get a strength? 78.6. Intelligence? Yeah, now we're on 79 again. See? That might be the balance. That 1 point might have been the balance that we needed to switch. Got to find that tipping point between intelligence, strength, and dexterity. Now what I could do is I could actually take out 4 points from resistances over here, throw them over here, and get 1% increased attack speed per 15 dexterity. I think that's actually worth it. So I'm going to do this. Path of Cardio. That's what we're doing now. Let's switch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now that does take my resistances down very slightly, but not noticeably. We bring up the damage. Now the Tempest Ice Strike is currently doing 79,000 damage. Let's see what happens if we switch it now and add some of this on. 79,000. We go to 80,000, which is good. We go to 81,000. We go to 84,000. We go to 90,000. Excellent. 90,000 DPS. Now what happens if I were to switch? I can't switch anything else. We're up to 90,000 DPS on Ice Strike. That's pretty good. It's not the crazy, you know, 5 to 10 million that some streamers are getting, but I'm pretty happy with that. We've still got our defenses at 78, 77, 77, 18. We've capped on defenses, apart from Chaos, which I'm not worrying about too much. We've got decent mana regen. We've got good energy shield and life regen. So let's go try some maps, shall we? Let's throw some maps around, see what happens. Let's go crazy. Let's go with a level 5 map. I know, it's insane, but I need to organise these orbs, to be fair. I need to really organise some orbs. Let me just move some orbs. You can use orbs to make maps better. So let me just see. Okay, that goes normal to magic. Then we want Regal, which is magic to rare. Augment some magic items, so we go 1, 2, 3, and then Exalted. Where are my Exalts? There they are. So what I should be able to do is I should be able to take this Waystone, this level 5 Waystone right here, and I should be able to right-click and upgrade to magic. Then right-click and upgrade, add it again. Players are cursed with weakness, that's fine. Then use a Regal, which makes it a rare, and then use an Exalt, which adds something else onto it as well. So we now have a rare tier 5 map. And we throw that into the device. What does it have to be why does it have to be a Gemling Legionnaire? Because of the inherent bonuses you have. Hidden Grotto. Sweet, Hidden Grottos are good. Isn't that the one where you get the cellar dude? Oh no, Delirium Mirror. Okay. What's the cellar dude, the hidden shopkeeper guy? Tier 8 is minimum level to find the highest ascendancy trial. You're doing the same build? Good. So you should. It's the best build. We're all having a good time. I'm going to throw a level 5 gold map into a map with absolutely no modifiers. Because that's just the vibe we have here. Nice to have a Josh stream while hunkering down from the US winter storm. It was a little bit stormy over in the UK. Hopefully you guys are having a lovely time over there. Let's just see what this Ice Strike keeps up with, if anything. Beautiful. Now, is Ice Strike going to be better than Tempest Flurry? I'm thinking that maybe, with the increased speed, Tempest Flurry might be a real option. Yeah, so there we go. The increased speed with Tempest Flurry means that even if you're slowed, you're actually using the attack as movement tech. What's the point in being the most well-balanced? Perfectly balanced build. Another reason that I'm so well balanced is, I'll show you a point in the thing in a second. It's simply because I have a passive skill that gives me plus 2% damage per 5 attribute of my lowest attribute. We have a look down here, you'll be able to see it. Here we go. 2% increased damage per 5 of your lowest attribute, which means that you want your lowest attribute to be as high as possible. Which means you want it to be just very slightly below whatever the second one is. We're being as balanced as we can be. See, we've got a tier 2 Waystone already. We're in the money. I mean, not really, because this is a tier 5 juiced. But, like, we can pretend. There we go, we can pretend. This is so balanced. It is balanced, isn't it? Now, we might even need to switch around some more dexterity, some more strength. There's more changes we can make. In fact, one thing I do want to try and get to is, I want to see how many points it would take me to get to there. 2% increased lightning damage per 10 intelligence. And seeing as we're rocking 370 intelligence, that would be quite the increase. That'd be quite good. I'd like that, but how many points is that away? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 8 levels away. Oof. Oh, where can I steal 8 levels from? I'd probably go with 1, 2, 3, 4. Take them back from the speed. And then possibly 5 with you. Maybe 6, 7, 8. The defenses over there. Yeah, who needs defense? Defense, strictly, if anything. You don't really need defense until you're in high-level maps. If anything, we can just do more damage, you know? How many steps am I getting per day? So yesterday I discovered that this treadmill has a 2-hour cut-off time. And that was after walking 10,000 steps. So I was getting 10,000 steps in 2 hours, which was good. You know, I'll take that. Cursed words. Defense is everything. Is this 480p? I will not stand for that slander. No, it is not 480p. It is, as you can see on the screen now, downscaled to 1067 by 600. So you're getting almost double the resolution that you thought you were getting. 480p. No. We are a 600 vertical stream here. People said, you know, why is it so low? Do you really care? Is anyone watching the stream for the graphics? I know what you're all doing. You've all got this on a second monitor. I know that's what you're doing. No one is watching the stream. Everyone is listening to the stream. People have been commenting on how short I look from this camera angle, by the way, as well. I am 5'11", which is 1 inch short of being handsome. I know that. but I don't appreciate all of the comic book accurate Wolverine comments that we were getting. You're not strictly wrong, but it's just because it's a high-angle camera. That's what I've gone with. You are half watching, half listening. Nobody is going to turn the stream on and go, oh, the graphics aren't good enough, and then turn the stream off. And if they were to do that, let's be real, I was never going to provide the entertainment they needed. They weren't here for that, were they? I love the spin to win button. The spin to win is my favourite button. We've only got 2 or 3 more kind of items we need for this build to really shine, this build to work. But I don't want to take defense down any lower. Defense is as low as it can be realistically right now. Spin to win. That's what we're doing. We are spinning, and there is a level of weaning going on. How are you guys? What's everyone been up to? Here's the new Mortal Kombat. Now, this is actually what Star Wars Kid ended up doing with his life. He discovered he could just spin around a lot like this. I'm showing my age with that meme. It is an older meme, sir, but it checks out. Some of you weren't even around for the fantastic double white shirt joke that I did at the start, and I feel that you missed out on that. Well, it's a shame that you didn't get to appreciate that. I'll do it tomorrow. No, next week. I'll do it next week. I'll reuse that joke. If you guys were here for it, you'll understand, but I think it's a joke that deserves to be reused. Is this RuneScape? Yes. Yeah, this is the new evolution of Combat 2. Electric Boogaloo. That's what's going on here. Now, where's the boss? Wherever the boss is, I'm just going to stick down A. There we go, just hold move. A lesser Jeweler's Orb, I can see that. Some people have said, why am I not playing with a loot filter? Don't need one, mate. You don't need a loot filter if you never get loot. Thinking, see? Thinking with the upstairs brain there, guys. Being smart. So map was complete, but I still don't think I got anywhere near the amount I need to get back from that. In fact, what does my item find on Tempest Flurry? 44% rarity. Ice Strike is again 44% rarity. It's not the greatest. It's not the greatest item find, but yeah, it'll do. Right, what do we got? Sell. I tend to sell most things, to be fair. Some of you might see me selling something that's really good. Like this. Is that needed? Increased rarity, attributes, 25 to intelligence. No, because my current helmet has got so many cool things. I'll sell that. And then everything else goes in the stash tab. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to see if so those skill gems can go in this tab here because I'm running out of skill gem space. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to see if I can remain self-sufficient. You'll notice we have all these waystones here. What if I were to go to and then juice this waystone? I'm not reading what the modifiers are, by the way. I don't care. I'm going to fight my way through. When you juice a waystone, hey, what resolution are you running the game? It looks awful. Thank you very much. I'll show you. I am running the resolution at... I'm running it at 1920 by 1080 in a window, as you can see by the monitor in front of me, but I'm then downscaling that to 56% of that, which is 1067 by 600. It plays fine. I think it's because I'm an old boomer and my eyesight's clearly going, but I just don't really need anything beyond that. DVD quality, that's what it is. Why do I run everything in a window? Because it inspires comments and annoys people. Let's go with a Hidden Grotto on a 5 difficulty. It's also actually easier to see ground effects like this. Why am I not using a flight stick like a real gamer? I was this close to using a one red button Atari joystick. Now I could have done that. Decided not to. Because I got cowardly, you know, I gave up. Didn't think I could do it, decided against it. The one thing that would make this build so much better is having charged staff. Oh man, if I had charged staff, we would be in the money. But I can't generate power charges unless I use another attack, and I refuse to use a build with more than one button. This build is doing fine. The reason I can be a little bit risky with it is because I've just leveled up, so I don't really care if I die and lose the experience from this, because I'm not that close to another level. Because you lose experience when you die, so you only really want to be taking risks when you're at the start of a level, so you're not going to lose an absolute ton of stuff. I'm going to pretend it's Diablo 2 footage. I don't need graphics to enjoy the game. I just really don't. Whatever that was, that fired a load of electrical things at me. That was pretty cool. Do you think losing XP in maps is good for the game? No. I think there should be a penalty, but it should not be experience loss. Experience loss is a... So, someone described it on Reddit really well. The game at higher levels is not hard, it's frustrating. People don't mind hard games. Hard games are good. Take, for example, the original Dark Souls design of making you run all the way back to the bosses when you die. There's a huge amount of run back to a boss. Then take the Elden Ring design of just sticking the respawn point outside the front of the boss. People want to take on hard challenges. People want to play difficult things. They genuinely do. What they don't want to be is frustrated. So when you die and you lose all of your remaining portals and you lose your health, that's frustrating. We need to find a way to make the game hard without being frustrating. You don't want a feels bad mechanic. Let's say, for example, that you die on a map, and what you're then allowed to do is use the remaining portals you have to go back into the map and loot whatever you had missed. That way, you can take a couple of risks, but you know that if you die, you're losing out on any future loot. Because at the minute, there's just effectively one portal. Unless you want to return to town and sell some stuff, there's basically one portal. That's what you get. Like that. See, I died just there because of a ground explosion, and I'm going to miss out on the Regal Orb, the Wide Belt, the Skill Gem, whatever else would be there. I've got to resurrect in the hideout, and you'll notice that my experience has now gone back to empty. We're looking at the bar on the bottom of the screen just there. So, level 79, I have gained 0 experience to the next level, and I have lost the juiced map that I made, and now I must effectively start again. I don't mind games being difficult. I like games being difficult. What I don't want is games to feel bad to lose at. When I lose, I like to think, okay, let's go again. When I lose to a boss in Elden Ring, I get that feeling of, I'm a bit better, I can go again. When I lose to a high-level boss or a high-level map in this game, in Path of Exile 2, I want to quit the game. I just want to close the program and go and do something else. And any mechanic that makes a player want to close your game is not great. Take, for example, the Citadel bosses. You could travel all the way to a Citadel boss, and you get one chance at that Citadel boss. One. If you die to that Citadel boss, you don't get to try again. You have to spend another 10, 20, sometimes even 30 hours trying to find another Citadel. I would like it if you could die to the Citadel boss and keep trying again and again and again and again and again, and then when you beat it, you get rewards based on how many tries it took you to beat it. Does that sound like an extreme idea? So why have I switched back to my sorceress like this? Well, I like playing the Gemling Legionnaire. What I don't like is the brutal setback that dying on it gets me. Which is why everyone is using the Spark Mage to level and grind for items, because you just die less. That's what it is. People are finding grinding builds that die less to create builds they actually want to play, which are riskier. It is the kind of gameplay that actually demands you play slightly safer. Now, I'm sure people will say, oh yeah, it's a trade-off between power and defense. Someone said to me once that ranged characters are better than melee characters on account of the fact that they can stay far away. And that's not necessarily ranged characters, that's just the distance you can be from an enemy. Because a ranged character can still play as melee if it benefits them. And a melee character cannot play as ranged if it benefits them. There is a passive skill node that gives rangers more damage the closer they are to an enemy. So a ranged class has the option of being close or far away. A melee class does not have that option. You glad you didn't try the citadels? So if you found a citadel on a map, you've obviously been playing it for a while. It takes a hell of a long time to find. If you find a citadel and you fail at the boss, which you probably will do because they're bloody hard and they will one-hit you, you can't try again. That's it. This is another reason why one-hit builds are so popular. It's one of the reasons that I'm building this right now. I actually don't want to try and take on the mechanics of a citadel boss, because I know the longer I spend in that boss fight, the greater the chance of me eventually dying. So, statistically, the best thing for me to do is kill the bosses in as few hits as possible. That's it. Being punished for failure is okay. However, the way that I see the design, and again, I'm not a game designer, I don't run or own Path of Exile 2. But the way that I see game design is this. Let's say that you are at a certain stage, an amount of experience, an amount of items, whatever you need, and you go into a boss fight, and you lose. What should we then reset the player to? What should the loss be? Because what the loss used to be, within arcade terms, was put more money in, try and play the game again. If you go into a boss fight and you use a couple of items and then you die, do we respawn you outside the boss room with those items? Some people would say yes, some people would say no. Do we respawn you far away from the boss room with the items or without the items? Do we respawn you far away from the boss room one level lower than you were when you tried? How much punishment do we give the player for failure? Now, me personally, I think that what you should lose is the time you have spent trying the boss. Because that already has a value. Everyone's time has a value. If you are in a boss fight for 10 minutes and you die and then you respawn, what you have lost is those 10 minutes. What you have gained within those 10 minutes is knowledge of the game, knowledge of the boss, skill within the game. So yeah, you actually don't feel that you've lost those 10 minutes as much as invested those 10 minutes in your skill of the game. This is exactly why Dark Souls is considered such a good game. You can, with enough investment and enough skill, actually beat the game at level 1. Same with Elden Ring, you can do it with no hitting. This is because the time invested in the game is not removed from you when you die. It is simply invested within your own skill. Let's take this to Path of Exile 2. When you die past level 70 in a map in Path of Exile 2, you lose all the items that you didn't pick up on the map, even if you can see them, which is a very feels bad mechanic. You lose the map as well. You can't go back into it. You also lose 10% experience. So however, if you were, 15% of the way to the next level, you're now down to 5. This disincentivizes dying. This basically says, hey, don't die. No matter what you do, don't die. But then you've got rarity as an item find mechanic on items. I don't think I've got anything with rarity on it. See if I can find something with it on. I don't think I'm wearing any. Oh, there we go, my helmet. 12% increased rarity of items found. So you need to balance how much damage you're doing, how much defense you've got, and how much rare item find you have. So if you have a build that can one-shot a final boss, it makes sense to take no defense at all and just build up an absolute load of rarity and a load of offense. That's what you need to do. This is your farming build, but you don't use rarity found. What makes it a farming build? I haven't got to the end of the game yet. I'm not doing maps with this character yet. Once I get to the end of the game with maps, all this character will be is maxed out damage and rarity find. That's all it will be. Now, one thing that I have come to resent about defense is if you can be one shot at maximum defense, what is the point of defense? If you can just be literally one hit killed immediately, why don't you just go with maximum damage? Because that way, the quicker the enemy dies, the better. And unfortunately, that is what a lot of builds are now going for. Now, again, I must say I love this game. I think the first 3 acts of this game are phenomenally good. The end game most definitely needs tweaking. There's a lot of tweaks that need to be done to the end game. It's not bad, and again, it is early access, which is what we're trying to discover where the tweaks need to go to. That's the kind of whole point of us playing. But right now, it's full of feels bad mechanics. You definitely don't want someone playing your game, dying, and thinking, well, I'm done. And unfortunately, at the minute, that is happening a lot. That's the problem. I do not mind hard games. I do mind unfairly punishing games. Let's say that you have an hour to play, and this is what I think a lot of people forget. The vast majority of people don't have a hell of a lot of free time to play video games. I'm very lucky in that I do have free time. It's my job. And if we were at college or uni, you guys probably have free time as well. If you're unemployed, you've got free time. Although, again, most of that time it's not exactly free. Being unemployed is remarkably stressful. Most people don't have 4 to 5 hours a day to play a game. They would like to, but they don't. So if they play a game for 3 hours, and they have fun and they enjoy it, and then they die, and they lose 3 hours worth of progress, while in a way, yes, they have still gained 3 hours worth of knowledge, because we were talking about the formation of knowledge earlier, is the gaining of 3 hours worth of knowledge worth knowing that you have to do that 3 hours again? Is it worth knowing that you've lost the progress you made with the limited time that you have? I feel at the minute the end game at least, is balanced for players like me. It's fair for people like me who can spend hundreds of hours grinding the same thing. If I make a mistake that costs me 30 hours worth of gameplay, I'm just thinking, oh, that's like 3 days. If someone who plays an hour a day makes a mistake that costs them 30 hours worth of gameplay, they're going to need to grind for a month to get back to where they were. And that knowledge alone of do you want to do the same thing for a month, that puts people off. Now, of course, Path of Exile is a game designed about restarting again and again and again and again and again. You know, every time there's a league, we start again. You're not meant to get to level 100. But it still sucks when you lose stuff that you put time into. What is the consequence of dying in Path of Exile 1? I'm actually not sure. I'm not up to date with that right now. Someone in chat will know. I mean, as long as you are enjoying the process of playing the game, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Enjoying the process of playing is great. The problem is when the process of playing gets kind of somewhat overshadowed by the knowledge that you must do a lot of work again. That's what irritates people. And it's also why one-shot builds end up becoming the meta. Why do the graphics look like garbage? First of all, it's because I'm playing it at 600 pixels tall. But second, maybe it's because I started playing video games in the early 90s. But to me, even at 600 pixels, this still looks kind of fine. Maps should be 3 lives and plus or lives modifiers. Yeah, that could be cool. People used to complain that maps having 6 portals effectively meant you had what they called the 6 portal defense. If you died, you had to try it again. You had 6 times on every map. And I'm thinking, okay, do that. What's wrong with that? Someone actually asked Jonathan why maps still have 6 portals if you're going to lose them after 1 death. And he replied, because there were 6 portals in the marketing materials. 6 portals was the best glass cannon defense, without a doubt. And someone said to me, Yeah, but with 6 portals, that just means everyone will be playing a glass cannon. Everyone's playing a glass cannon with 1. You're not going to change the meta of the builds by giving people more or less portals. Right now, defense is effectively worthless. By saying, hey, you can try again, it will increase build variety. Right now, build variety is, can I kill the boss in 1 second before he does any mechanics? Because chances are I can't survive the mechanics. If the way to beat your game is to skip mechanics. Like, I've literally had people say to me, hey, the best way to beat Januray in Cruel is to burn him down before he does the special ice attack. I mean, okay, so your solution to the game is to do so much damage you don't have to engage with the mechanics because the mechanics are so inherently punishing. That doesn't sound great. That's not the ideal. What was I building? I've got 1 point to put into something. Where was it going? What were we doing with the points? Hang on, let me just test something. So increased energy shield, 1415. Does that increase that? No, it does not. But does it increase anything else? No. Maybe we want to go with life. That is maximum mana as energy shield. Okay, energy is 1827. That's good. That's a good amount of energy shield to have. Become strong enough to skip part of the game. Having 1 portal has... Yeah, that's also another good point. Having 1 portal doesn't really affect the extremely rich, powerful players. It punishes people doing off-meta things. It punishes a casual player who says, hey, you know what? I'm going to make my own build. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to make my own choices. If you want to encourage people to do non-meta things, you have to not punish them for doing non-meta things. There is a reason that everyone is copying there's a reason that I'm doing this right now. It's because if I don't do this, the punishments outweigh the rewards. Right now, dying is more punishing than not dying. It makes you reluctant to take on bosses. If you discover a Citadel boss and you know that you only get 1 chance at it, what's the first thing you're going to do? Google it or YouTube it. That's what you're going to do. If you know that you get 1 chance at this difficult boss, you're going to watch a guide on how to do it. You're not going to learn by playing, which is super annoying. I think they were going for kind of like Dark Souls Elden Ring. But I don't think they understood that Dark Souls Elden Ring is punishing. But it's punishing in the moment. It's not punishing for failure. It actually, I try to explain to someone, it actually doesn't punish you for failing. It lets you try as much as you possibly want. It's difficult to succeed, yes. But when you lose, it doesn't take anything else away from you. Apart from the items that you chose to use in that fight. They are single-use items. It's weird as well that Path of Exile 2 starts as Dark Souls and ends as Vampire Survivors, where you just have an absolute screen full of particle effects and physically can't die. Dark Souls punishes you for giving up. It does. That's with the phrase, don't go hollow. It punishes you for stopping trying. Whereas Path of Exile 2 punishes you for failure and simply doesn't let you try again. And that's what's irritating people. It's not that they don't want to try again. It's that they can't. Like, if I'm at 99% experience and I've got a tier 12, 13, 14 difficult map, I'm then thinking, I don't want to do that because failing on that would remove so much progress. So if I'm at 99% experience at the next level, I'm actually going to grind a load of really easy tier 1 maps just to get the level. Because the failure punishment is far too great. Yeah, once you have all 3 citadels buying them, who is going to invest that much currency in getting something and then immediately dying? It's a real shame. What do I think is the difference between e-girls and I-lady? I don't know. I don't know. This requires a deep dive analytical discussion. Need to find an investigative journalist and see what they can say. So what do you guys think about the balance of what should the punishment for failure be? Because remember in, like if we go back to the SNES era, I know, bear with me, go back to the SNES era, games like The Lion King, games like Aladdin, games designed to be difficult. They were meant to be difficult, and when you died and lost all your lives, you went back to the start menu. What was the point of going back to the start menu? Well, the point was those games were still designed with arcade mentality in mind, and they were designed to be blockbuster rental games. They weren't meant to be beaten in one sitting because you couldn't release DLC for the game at that time, and you didn't want people to feel ripped off having paid 50 or 60 quid for one game and completing it in 3 to 4 hours. So they just made the games really bloody hard. That was the plan. Make games incredibly difficult. People will feel good when they beat them because of how long it took them to do. That was very much a quantity issue. And the arcade still had the mentality of put more money in, get more game. But maybe this losing experience thing is not the only thing. Maybe this is a perfect point you just put in the chat. Maybe it is simply a smaller element of the larger thing, which is defense feels bad. There is a reason so many of the builds are all about do lots of damage and not don't die. Because do lots of damage is the best way to not die. Also, this guy saps your mana, so try and stay as close to him as I can and just keep drinking potions. I don't mind hard games. I like hard games. What I dislike is being punished for failure in a way that makes me not want to try again. I try and visualize these things because I find it very easy to visualize and understand a concept when it's visualized for me. And I explained it like this. Hopefully this will visualize it for you guys as well. Imagine a line of where you are within the game, and wherever you take on the boss is where you start on the line. Make my camera bigger for this so you understand, because this is important. Hopefully you'll understand this. Imagine you're playing a video game and you're fighting a boss, you're taking something on. It's a line of where you are. You start at a point, let's say point A. If you beat the boss, you get to point B. What happens if you fail? Well, if you fail, you should just reset to point A. The problem with punishment mechanics is when you fail, they actually set you to before A. And that's what feels bad. Knowing that failure will not only mean you have to try again, but mean that you have lost previous success. Maybe that's what it is. Talking to you guys really helps me understand how these systems all work, by the way. That's what this is. Failure is not just isolated to failing that individual moment. Failure in this game actually retroactively removes previous success. That's what it is. We've figured it out. That's what the feels bad mechanic is. And that's the easiest way to explain it. It's loss of progression. The failure... A success in this game does not add to future successes, but a failure does remove past successes. That's what it is. Got it. We've worked it out. We've been smart. We've worked it out. This is how you make... This is how we work out those sign bites, those knowledge. You genuinely help, guys. I try and... Whenever I was teaching, I used to explain to people the process of learning, the process of understanding something, the process of making drama specifically. I would say to someone... A student will come to me and say, hey, I have an idea, but I don't think it's very good. And I'd say, look, truth be told, it's probably not very good. But think about the process of creation, the process of learning, the process of education. Think about it like this. Imagine you are driving a truck, and it's a flatbed truck, and in the flatbed, it's a ton of rocks. Loads of rocks, all different sizes. Now somewhere within those rocks is a nugget of gold. Maybe a ruby, maybe a diamond. Something valuable is in there. The more raw material you bring me, the longer we can spend going through the pile of rocks to find the good stuff. No one drives up with a truck full of gold. Everyone drives up with a truck full of stuff, and some of it is good. That's what I would explain to all of my students. I'd say, look, if you bring me a 100-page script, maybe one of those pages is absolute gold. We'll take it, we'll work it, we'll workshop it, we'll make it better. You bring me 100 ideas, maybe one of them is good. The difficulty is finding the time to go through all of the other stuff. So when someone says to me, I've got an idea but it's bad, probably is. But I guarantee part of it is probably very good. We just need to interrogate it for long enough. We need to mine it for ideas. We need to understand what it is. For example, Grand Theft Auto. And this is what game testing is all about. That's what we're doing now. There are some really good ideas in Path of Exile 2. I love them. However, there are some ideas that need refinement. So, imagine Grand Theft Auto. When they were beta testing Grand Theft Auto, the original GTA, back on the PC and PlayStation, the whole being chased by the police thing was a punishment for failure. You would fail your missions, you would run someone over, you would be chased by the police. That's what you would do. And that was actually considered bad. But when they were watching the beta testers for the game, they discovered that actually the beta testers were provoking the police on purpose. And they were enjoying the process of running away from them. And the developers sat back and went, hang on, maybe the idea that we had in our minds of what this game was, maybe that's not what the game is. Maybe we've brought our playtesters a truck full of gold, and they have found gold that we weren't even looking for. Emergent gameplay. That's what it was. And that's when the developers said, hey, okay, you know what? We're going to pivot our design direction, and we're going to work on this instead. That's why the most important thing that a school can do, and again, I know I rant about this a lot, but education is very important to me. The most important thing a school can and should do is instill a love of learning, a curiosity of the world. The idea of, hey, what's this? How does it work? Who was that? What did they think? Can I do this or that or the other? The point of a school is not to force rote memorization onto students. That just creates factory workers. And there's nothing wrong with working in a factory. I've worked in a factory for a long time. But it doesn't encourage the individual excellence of anyone. The point of school is to encourage curiosity. What it does right now is kill it. If you want a child to enjoy Shakespeare, let them watch a good company producing it. If you want a child to hate Shakespeare, make them read it. So this all got onto the idea of how do we encourage good ideas? How do we find good ideas? Well, we take an absolute load of bad ideas and find the gold within them. It takes a while, but it's worth it. I am hoping they don't nerf the Archmage ability too badly as well, seeing as that's kind of my entire build. That's not my whole thing. Also, I'm looking for the Sacrificial Heart altar, because I've got the Sacrificial Heart just there, and if I use the Sacrificial Dagger, I should get 2 skill points. Not sure where I'm going to put them, but I should get them at least. What resolution do I play at? 1067 by 600. That's the problem with the schooling system, based on producing factory workers. It is, without a doubt. See you later, Z3. Have a good day, man. Take care of yourself. Ooh. Yeah, he ran into the ice just there. That would have been bad. Oh, lovely. Easy. Drop the resolution. I actually can't. I genuinely can't because I'm playing on the lowest resolution the game will allow me to play on. Now, why am I doing that? Because it's easier. That's the entire point. I mean, Macbeth is a fun story.
I offer this heart to you, Garakan.
Shakespeare has a lot of comedy to it, a lot of fun, enjoyable stuff. 40% increased maximum energy shield, 10% increased maximum mana. Now, mana increases my damage, so Spark goes to... Spark lowers? Hang on. That was... I'm sure Spark was 2,400. That was... Oh, it's reduced maximum mana. My bad. Let's go and change that. Hang on. We'll take that back. I know what I'm doing. Professional streamer.
I must travel light.
I know exactly what I'm doing. Don't worry about me. We'll undo it. We'll also use the checkpoint to travel to the checkpoint, which that's a great thing right there. The fact you can now use checkpoints to fast travel to other checkpoints, brilliant thing. That's a bit of gold. We mined that right there. That is a bit of gold. Clearly I read reduction as increase and the education system has failed me. In my defense, I wasn't an English teacher. Let's just pop back to the old encampment. Okay, just got here. What is this? This is the path of exile. I'm walking the actual path. Like I said, every streamer that's not walking the actual path, purely a poser. In fact, you want to know? You want to know some respect that I've got? I got a message from Talkative Try. Big Path of Exile 2 guy. He is considering buying a walking treadmill. He is. Will he do it? I mean, I called him out. I said, look, unless you're walking the actual path of exile. Now, let's see if I can go with increased maximum mana. Where is more mana? That's what I need. More mana basically gives me more damage. 30% increased energy shield, 4% increased maximum mana. Interesting. That could be good. Because mana is damage for me. I don't want mana regen, I want mana just straight up normal stats. Already got you. That's reduced. What's this bad boy over here? Life and regen mana. Mana regen, strength and intelligence. 30 to maximum. Some good stuff. I am putting the pedal to the very flat sheet of metal that I am walking on. That's what I'm doing. Don't want mana regen rate. I just want straight up more mana. What's that? 3% increased life, mana, and energy shield. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, energy shield as stun threshold. That could be useful actually, because I'm being stunned a lot. There's a lot of stun going on. Top right, there's one that increases it, you think. What have we got over here? Recover 3% of mana when you invoke a spell. Triggered spells do something else. 15% increased. That's plus 10 to intelligence, though. Plus 10 to intelligence is always good, and increased cast speed is always nice. Look at a raw mana node. Yeah, I could just get one of the attribute things. But I just want, like, more mana. That's the plan. The passive tree does have a very limited number of these. In fact, what I've got here is plus 8 to intelligence. So, you know what, we'll just go with that. Plus 8 to intelligence takes me to... Yeah, there we go. And I've got one more point to spend as well. 12% increased maximum mana. That's fantastic. That's what we need. 10% increased cost of skills. Don't care about that at all. Let's go with you. And the next point we get goes to there. 12% increased maximum mana. That is my man. Why did you fell off YouTube? Barely any good old-style Dragon Ball Z videos. Nitro, it's true. I did fall off. I'm sorry. I can only apologise. In fact, random fact, I have never seen Dragon Ball Z. However, don't hate me yet. Yesterday, I actually started watching Dragon Ball Z Kai. Because that's the one where you can... there we go. That's the one that cuts out a load of the filler stuff. Hey, there's nothing wrong with watching Dragon Ball Z Kai. It just cuts out all of the screaming. I don't have months to spare on people screaming and powering up their attacks. I will happily watch Dragon Ball Z Kai, which cuts out an absolute ton of the filler and just allows me to get the actual plot. Kai is so far good. And just to really anger all of you, I'm watching it in English. There are literal episodes of just screaming to power up. So you cannot convince me to watch the original when I've got that. I died, but that's okay. I can try again. Kai is good, but go out of your way for watching the driving license episode after the freeze. Okay. Okay, I'll try and... If I enjoy Kai, I'll go back and watch the rest. How about that? That'll work? If I need to power up, I do just start screaming. I know that's how it works. Everyone knows that's how it works. This build is my farming build. This build will become a farming build the moment I get to maps and I'm able to actually kill kind of tier 15 bosses without being one-hit killed. I am also discovering... Oh, by the way, check this out. This is really cool. So, this game is brutal. Really bloody. When you click that cadaver, a laser will actually slice it vertically. It will fall in half, and we will get an item from it. You ready? How cool is that? That's what the Varl used to do. That's the brutality. Where's the item? We didn't get one. We didn't deserve one. Yeah, it's like slicing bacon, but with humans. I mean, look at that. What's going on there? The Varl are a very brutal race. Why did you see an anime waifu there? Because we've all lived on the internet. We've all seen that video before. If you haven't seen the video, you don't... You just live your life without knowing. I mean, look, this is how brutal the Varl are. Look at that. That is a literal kind of conveyor belt of humans. Rivers of blood. Oceans, if you will. Why did I remind you of that? Because sometimes you've got to remember the old internet. Remember where we started. Where we came from. Where we're going to. Sorry. You're a little perturbed I don't disenchant anything. You wait till I get some even rarer stuff. You'll be even more perturbed. I do not play this game well. I play it a lot, but not well. They're different things. I'm not entirely sure what disenchanting does. I assume it gives you shards or bits of orbs or armorer's scraps or things like that. I'm guessing that's what it does. But I don't actually know. As soon as I have the defense on my actual dude, my regular guy with my stick, we'll go back to him. This is farming. Gives you shards, which... How did I get this far without disenchanting? Pure skill. That and luck. But no, I've never needed to disenchant anything. I don't know what... I know that you get like a little hammer icon, but then I've just never used it, you know? I've got swagger in the walk. Thank you. Thanks. I'd spend a lot of time walking on... Yeah. We can even get the hips involved slightly more, if we need to. We can crouch down as we go, if we want to. We could occasionally do the sideways strut, Because, I mean, that's a lot more camp, but I'm a theatre kid, so it's fine. I'm allowed to do it. You were coming for a whelming stream. I'm sorry if I've overwhelmed you. Very sorry if I've overwhelmed. Maybe you were expecting too little. You have a weird question. Go for it. I'll give you a weird answer. Can I do it with jazz hands? I mean, normally everything would be done with jazz hands. Why don't I buy a standing desk? That is the next thing to buy. However, I bought a lot of Warhammer and I realised that I couldn't afford the standing desk. So what I've ironically done is I've just stacked up boxes of Warhammer on my regular desk, which I then put the keyboard and mouse onto. Ironically, probably more expensive than a standing desk. But that's where we are now. That's what we've done, that's what we've got to. It's a gamer's desk, it really is. Yeah, it's a true gaming desk. Right here. It's mostly just Warhammer. It's the future. Because that way, when I want to have a sitting desk again, I just take the Warhammer off. So you got to think about these things. Being smart. Can we talk about the pink fluffy cowboy hat? Yeah, if you want to. That was Rusty Milk. That was the Fallout New Vegas character, who I'm sure will at some point be resurrected to play Fallout 4. Or even Fallout 3. There's so many, I mean, if this game ever gets a cowboy class, we might even play him in here. Who knows? The treadmill looks like a fun idea. You know what? It's burning a lot of calories. In fact, so far I can tell you that I have walked 5,500 steps since the start of this stream. Now, normally, I wouldn't walk 5,500 steps in a day at all. But I've spent the last hour and 20 minutes walking. That's not bad. An hour and 20 minutes of walking while also streaming and playing a game. That is, we're stacking mechanics here, guys. And you know my love for stacking mechanics. Am I sweating yet? Remarkably. There's a reason I'm keeping my arms by my side. Guys will know. Guys will understand. Girls, I'll tell you a guy's secret. You ever seen a guy in a jacket when it's quite warm and you think, why don't you take your jacket off? Let me tell you a guy's secret. Sorry guys, I'm going to break the code. It's because he is sweating so much under the jacket that if he takes the jacket off, the sweat will become remarkably obvious. So, it's actually got past the point of being able to take the jacket off. What the guy is then doing is hoping that the sweat doesn't soak through the jacket. Because when that happens, I'll be real, it's over. That's when the guy has to leave. That's why if you see someone wearing a jacket or a jumper in a warm place, it is no longer because they are cold. It is because they are now hiding the layer of sweat that exists below. It's a whole... yeah. There's a whole thing to it, guys. There's a whole process. People are unaware of it. It's a whole process. And I think that we all become closer if we all just start to talk about the truth of why we do what we do. Gentlemen, he's shared the secrets. I'm afraid I must be punished. I'll take it. I understand. There's not nearly enough women here to warrant an infraction for breaking the code. There's like one going, I see why they do that now. Alright, boss time, guys. Let's take on a boss. I love the bosses in this game. They are beautiful.
So, at the eve of the end, the demon of Azzoatl has finally
This dude full on mechs it up as well.
Such arrogance.
My job, of course, is to keep this up as much as I possibly can. All the sparks and all the fire. Problem is, he is very powerful. And when I've hurt him enough, he will get out his little mech boy. Oh, laser time.
Let's see how you
I'm not going to kill this guy on the first time, though. There's no way. No way that's happening. Fire is... yeah, there we go. Take him down. The bosses here are gorgeous, though. Since when is Josh using the treadmill and why? Since yesterday and because fat. Simple answer.
So, eve of the end, the demon of Vatzoatl has finally come.
Mayan Dr. Eggman. That's what he is, isn't he? I actually thought about that, but it is that.
I bear the burden for our future.
I might even put Cast on Shock onto this fight and see if that does anything. I don't know if it will, but we can find out. Ah, now I can use the kind of weird power zap thing to hopefully... Yes, I need to be near him for my attacks to have more power. But being near him, of course, is dangerous. Focusing now. Focusing, guys. True gaming hours. God damn. Well, Yanni he ain't messing around. Is the unregistered hypercam overlay a meme? Yes, it is. Right, what do I have on Spark? Faster casting speed, skill effect, less cost. Ooh, okay, I need to make these things cost less. So I might need to take off that and replace it with probably nothing, to be honest. Yeah, we're good. So this should hopefully mean my spells they cost less, so I can cast them for longer.
So,
why is it so bright? Can you fix that, please? Yeah, probably can. Is it too bright for you, yeah? Alright, give me a sec. Sort that out for you. Fix that right now. We good? Let's carry on.
Demon of Vatzoatl has finally
now we're gaming. Real gaming hours now.
Survival requires
I can actually keep my damage up better now that I'm using way less mana to do this. But stay with me, Doyani. Stay with me, don't go away.
Let's see how you handle this.
It's romantic lighting. This is a date. This is date night.
Inevitable.
Your wanted romance. You got it. I do not have enough mana to be doing this.
Observe.
Might need to change around some of my... Here we go, here we go! Mech Boy time! Time for Mayan Dr. Eggman.
You know why we're here! It happened! It cannot be stopped!
No, I will succeed. How foolish.
The genius of the valve. I'm not impressed.
I will burn you alive.
I am just constantly putting down the electric balls while at the same time rolling around him. It's one of those weird things where being right next to him is weirdly the safest place to be. Provided I don't get slapped.
Now you're within my grasp.
Oh, here we go. Big laser time.
Ravaging power.
Ooh.
I've had enough of you.
God damn. Damn, that damage, son!
The world is nigh.
No, no, frozen, not good.
Foolish.
Also out of mana, which is itself not good.
Burn to ash, demon
I think
of
he's
Vatzoatl.
sapping a lot of my strength right now, which is very annoying. I cannot read the chat. I'm focusing on just rolling at the right time. You do get immunity frames when you roll. They're just few and far between.
Get up.
Here we go. Arcane Surge. Push it. Push it to the limit.
Existence
I believe was an old 90s song. Oh, roll. Oh, if we die now, I'd be so annoyed. Oh, we did it! Sweet.
Not fail me.
We won.
Not now.
You do not get immunity frames against AoE. Well, you might not. Depends how well you roll. I always roll well enough.
All that I sacrificed.
Alright, let's tell this dude that basically his entire civilization is going to die unless he comes with us. And then let's go and do some maps, shall we?
You can stay here and die, or come with us and help save the future.
He might drop a rare item, you never know. Let's find out.
Legacy of the Val must be protected.
Is the low lighting working for you all? Is this doing it?
Way to contain the beast.
Like, is this...
Stop talking then.
Because right now I feel like a weird kind of night terror that you'd wake up and see at the end of your bed, with me slowly walking towards you, being like... Stacking mechanics. That's what it would be. Alright, Doyani. Welcome, my bro.
I will come to you.
My boy. My brethren. Let us return. And then let us go and map, my friends. I'm not even level 70 yet. It Follows could be defeated by a treadmill. It could. 6 more levels till then. Alright, Doyani.
Now then.
Send me to the future, my bro.
Activate the portal.
Let's go to the future. Oh no, the sun exploded. Hate it when that happens. What level am I? 66. Nice treadmill. Gonna use this on lazy Iron Man mode too. I might do when we get back to that. I do want to return to RuneScape. I do miss RuneScape. Do your arms get tired while playing? No. No, I've just... that's what I lift all the weights for. Hit the gym. It's my mouse hand. The keyboard working. That's what we work out. The dread mill. That's what we're on now. Currency exchange. I don't need to buy any of that. I do love the fact the game has an in-game currency exchange though. That is very cool. I appreciate that a lot. Alright, now we're at the end game pretty much. Alright, Doyani. First of all, identify some items and let me sell them to you. I don't need those. I don't need that. That's useless. +1 to the level of projectile skills. Could be good. No. Plate belt. Is that better than my current belt? Right, so what I want on my belt is just maximum mana. That's pretty much it. If it's not giving me maximum mana... Ooh, hang on. God damn, let's have a look at this wand for a second. Grants 24% of damage as extra cold damage, 22% as extra lightning, and it increases cold. It's a shame that I'm not using. Do I use a loot filter? Don't need to. Don't get any loot. That is not a bad little wand. It's just a shame that I'm using lightning skills and not cold skills because... God damn, if I was using cold skills... That also does give me 4 base kind of gems up here. It's pretty impressive. It's a sweet wand, but if you get plus to all spells, it'd be really good. Shall we... Let's exalt it, see what happens. 18% increased cast speed. That's also pretty good. Let's exalt it one more time. Let's risk it. Let's risk it for a PoE 2 biscuit. 25 to intelligence. Oh, it's good! It's good, but it's just not doing what we need it to do. It is, however... It's decent. It's just not got the plus... I'm going to keep it. I'm definitely going to keep that. That's a... You know what? That's a tab 9 special, that is. That's the only thing in tab 9. You were here. Historic. Moment right now, absolutely historic. You'll get the tab 9 special. You don't go there. You go there. Let's put some of these things away. Might need to start doing some of these chaos or Jinn things because I've got a lot of them. Let's keep putting stuff. Skill gems, I am maxed out with skill gems, so you've got to go this way. That would actually grant me an additional ascendancy point, but I hate Trial of the Secomers, so we're not doing it. Maybe in the future. Should I go and sort out this Kabbalah clan relic? I feel that I probably need to. That's from, I want to say like Act 2. I need to get this out of my inventory. If I don't get this out of my inventory, it's just going to be there forever. Oh, I haven't even... I've killed the Bog Witch. I've definitely killed the Bog Witch. Right, let's see what we haven't killed, because there are some bosses that give you permanent bonuses when you kill them. And I think I've done most of Act 1. It's Act 2, I think. Yeah, there we go. The medallion, the Valley of the Titans. Where do you get the other half of the medallion from? Is it just like randomly dropped? Let's go to the Titan Grotto. The Bone Pits. It's in Keth. Okay, so that's two... It's random drops. That's two answers immediately that don't work. Keth and the Bone Pits. That sounds like a band. I'll go to Keth and the Bone Pits. What I'll do is I'll just go and stick it in the actual Titan. You just finished Otherland series. Oh, thank you very much for watching it. One of my favourite series to make, that was. A really good time making that. It was genuinely an incredible series. I loved playing it through. Loved the adventure we went on. Had a really good time with it. Shame that it's going to be taken offline, obviously. But I actually think that Amazon might be doing a TV show of it. Which would be really cool if Amazon do a TV show of Otherland. Obviously, I would like to be involved, but I don't think I would be. Now, I'm just trying to find where the Titan thing is so I can put this clan relic out of my inventory into it. Keth and the Bone Pits with their latest hit, Random Drops, RNG. Apparently you can get some quite good rewards from doing the Trial of Chaos or the Jin Buyers, but I'm not going to do them, so no. Which relic do I have? I've got the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah clan relic. And I think it needs to go in one side of the special thing that's on this map somewhere that I'm going to try and find. If I could pick my role in the series, what would I be? Within the Otherland series, I'd be the giant floating coffin. It's the only choice. Sun is in the Bone Pits. Right, we'll go to the Bone Pits in a minute then. Because I think you get a permanent buff for actually doing this, don't you? We will go... We'll put the buff thing away. We'll go to the Bone Pits. We'll see what there is. If I die in this part of the game now, I'd be very sad. Here we go. Let's get rid of half of it. Now, there's half. And now the other one to the Bone Pits, you say? Well, let's go to the Bone Pits. The map needs a search. If I were a Bone Pit. There we go. It was bugged for you in the second half, never dropped. Well, let's see how long it takes to drop, shall we? We'll clear the entire map out. We'll see how long this extremely rare drop takes. See, I was kind of... There it is. I was kind of hoping it'd be like the first drop. But... like the fourth. That'll work. Let's return to the Valley of the Titans. Yeah, here we go. We're back. Let's put it in. And I think we are done. 30% increased charm charges. So literally useless. Or increased mana recovery from flasks. Yeah, we're going with the mana recovery from flasks. There we go. Oh, you can change it whenever you need to. Cool. 15% increased mana recovery from flasks. Waypoint. Act 3. Go to the past. And now let's do a map. Get some light. There we go. Now it's too bright again. Far too bright again. Alright, let's stash some stuff away. That does not grant ascendancies, but I'm still going to stick it there just in case. You can be banked. Right, give me a map. Give me a Waystone number 1. Numero uno. This is my map. Tower. Ooh, tower and is that a breach? No, it's not. Let's go here. Crimson Shores. Number 1. Go. We're about to get some serious experience. You think that light is better than in the beginning? That's just that's the room light. I'm not even using like the special lights that I've got put on the side. You can't tell me that my room light is better than the special lights that I bought. That's not fair. It's going to make me feel bad. Now we just walk through this map holding down Spark until we can eventually get better gear. I will need to re-gear. I will need to work out what my crazy powerful one-shot build is going to be on Spark. Ultimately, we just want to gear this guy up with a ton of damage and a ton of rarity find. That's the whole plan. It's just damage and rarity find, that's it. Use the special lights to make the standing desk even taller. I have done! This box here, it's an Elgato light. It's actually in the box still. I haven't even opened it. One step ahead of you. I hate how all I can see is you playing in windowed mode. Yeah, you can. I don't even mind that at all. I like that you hate it. Your hate sustains the playthrough. We run around, throw sparks. In fact, now I'm not doing the boss anymore. I was going to say probably put a different spark thing onto it, but I'll wait till I find a perfect jeweler's orb. When I find a perfect jeweler's orb, we'll put it on spark. I'm sure it's probably a waste, but I'm going to. Spark's just good mapping. A precursor tablet already. That's decent. Told me you didn't find those until like the second or third map. It's pretty good. I need to buy more Warhammer to increase the standing desk size. Thank you, I do, don't I? If I had more Warhammer, then I think the standing desk would be better. That's my excuse. That's the reason. Now I'm going to take the ultimate mana flasks because they can be chance orbed into a decent unique item. There is a unique mana flask, it's just super duper rare. Most important part of windowed mode, obviously, is the fact that I'm still using the default Windows blue screensaver. There's no reason to make it better, make it worse. Might I recommend Gundams to keep you on? I would like to build some Gundams at some point, because they look really cool. They do genuinely look very, very cool. I like the look of them. Might I suggest turning on the DLSS to eliminate the crunchy parts? No, the crunchy is what gives it flavour. The crunchy parts are needed. They give it the texture that makes this stream what it is. If this stream was too perfect, I don't think you'd be here. There needs to be... People need something to complain about. People very much need a common enemy. You know, British people especially, we've got to have something to moan about. People join together in complaining more than they ever join in praising and being happy. So if I make this stream perfect, if I give you nothing to complain about, you're going to leave. I know you are. But if I leave just enough mistakes in, just enough to give you something to complain about, then you'll stay. It's like there's an old famous saying of, I think it was maybe Mike, famous sculpture. I want to say Michelangelo. He was sculpting something, and one of the kind of patrons that was paying for this sculpture basically said to him, "The nose is wrong. The nose is wrong. Go and change the sculpture nose." But what they did was then they climbed up the ladder, took a handful of brick dust or kind of dust, pretended to chisel, and just threw down the dust to make it look like they'd changed something. And then when they climbed down the ladder, the patron was like, "Oh yes, now it's perfect." Because people don't actually know whether something is good or bad. They just know that they want to complain about something, and then they want to feel like they've fixed it. It's why sometimes what you need to do, and I don't know if you've ever done this in business, let me know. If you've ever had a business meeting with the upper bosses or the upper management, and have you ever deliberately made a very small mistake that you know you're going to make, just so they pick up on it and change it? Because if they don't change that small mistake, they're going to change something that you actually don't want them to change. It's a little trick. I use it quite a lot. If you want to give someone the illusion of power, make a mistake that you don't mind them changing, change it, praise them for it, and then make sure the rest of your project isn't touched. Best way to get your question answered is to give a wrong answer. Yeah, without a doubt. Straight up. tailors, yeah, I can imagine a tailor would use it. Because some people just have to say, hey, change this. They have to give their involvement. It's very difficult to say, I have, don't know, I have no input, it's fine. Because middle management think that if they say, hey, I don't have any input, they're effectively proving they have no reason to be there. Imagine proving that as a middle manager. Proving you have actually kind of no real input. Oh, that'd be bad. That'd be dangerous. Well, that would be. Producer switch on his base that he flips whenever a producer asks him to change something. It does nothing, but it fixes it. Yeah, because so many people forget human psychology is one of the most powerful things we have. Most people don't get hacked by people guessing passwords. They get hacked by being kind of socially engineered. They just tell people things. They do things. The weakest part of any security system is the human. The most easy to manipulate part of any system is the human. And whenever people say to me, hey, why do you need to be good working with people? Well, it's because the person is often the weakest part, or the most easy to change part, of any given system. It is always the weakest bit. It's why people skills matter so much. People don't work with people that are capable and confident. People work with people they like. Let's just grab some stuff. We failed that map, by the way, which is a real shame. Ooh, let's have a look. Evasion, dexterity, cold resistance. Nah, it's not very good. This, however, Pearl Ring, 8% increased cast speed. Liking the sound of that. Maybe we throw a Regal Orb on it and see what happens. Regal Orbs are these... Oh no, Alchemy. Orb of Alchemy. Upgrades a normal item to a rare item with 4 modifiers. Why not? Let's go for it. YOLO. 8% cast speed gets us maximum mana, dex, 10% to all resistances and lightning resistance. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That might actually be better than other stuff. It's a shame about the mana roll though, isn't it? So I don't think... it wouldn't affect that. Wouldn't affect that. It would actually increase that slightly. Very slightly. Because that one is giving life, attributes, intelligence. That one is still good though for defense. That's quite good. Oh, we leveled up. Sweet. Here we go. 12% increased maximum mana, 10% increased cost of skills. I'm okay with that. Let's see how much damage it gives my spark. Extra 100. I'll take it. Will we change it in the future? Don't know. Let's find out. Now, I want to have a look at these gloves. I want to do something dangerous. Lose 2% of life on kill. However, 49% increased rarity of items found. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. So, we've just increased our rarity find by 49%, which means if Spark kills something, it's got a 61% increased rarity drop. Now it's time to go for rarity. Pretty much nothing other than rarity. See what we've got. Apparently if you type rarity, everything gets found. Rarity of. Okay, apparently rarity of also doesn't work. Type item. Hang on. Type item. Ah, does item work for it? I am literally walking the path of exile. That's what I'm doing. Let's just go through and see what we've got. I could probably take you off. Do we have any focuses that increase rarity? No. How much longer am I allowed to join the path? For a while. Apparently, item found soft caps at 100%. I have heard that. I've heard the rumours. So I can't wear that because it's level 70. Close to it, though. What's about that? That's 10% increased rarity. I'm currently wearing 12% increased. Ooh. Rings are going to be good for this. I'm going to have some really good increased rarity rings. And 54% increased rarity of items found. Ah, it's a real shame because I'm wearing the Everlasting Gaze amulet, which is just super good. It's giving me a load of energy shield, a load of mana, but that actually is better for what I'm doing right now, which is very annoying. My resistances are like minus 22%, but who cares about that? No one really cares about resistances. We're 115% rarity increase. Sweet. Can we go higher? The answer is probably. Found. What if I just type found? There we go. Found works. Increased rarity of items found. 8% lightning damage. Nope. 56% increased rarity of items found. Hell yeah! Let's go with that. That's fantastic. We are, however, going to lose some damage somewhere. But actually, we lose it from there. Not that much. Spark is doing more damage, and we have a 171% rarity mod. We can do more. I feel there's more. Let's continue to have a look. Found. What I really need is boots. Boots with rarity mod on them. Oh. Okay, 12% increased rarity. 9%, that's not enough. The amulet is 54%. We ain't beating 54%. That's just way too good. 25% intelligence, life. Let's see what happens if we do this. Damage goes down, that's a shame. Can't have damage down too much. We still need some damage, you know. Searching through my bank to find things with... Ooh, 26%. Could work. See what happens if we put it on. Ah, no, we lose a lot of damage there. That, however, goes up. That goes up substantially. 141. 197. 197 is a decent amount of increased rarity. Let's just see what happens if we use 197% increased rarity. Might be good, might be bad, don't know. I've started walking the path of exile. All I need now is boots. If I can get boots with item find on them, I'll be happy. Like those. But I can't wear them because they require 61 dexterity. And I currently have... I'll have a check in a second. Ooh, hang on. That could be good. Boots with item find. Any here? Nope. Ooh. No, nothing good there either. It's a shame. Alright, I think we're done. I think we are done for this time, so we're just going to grab some maps. Go and do some stuff. My dexterity is 48. I don't want to increase that. I mean, I could, and that would give me a huge item find boost, but for the time being, we're just going to grind with this. Crimson Shores, map attempted. Let's attempt it again, then. Let's attempt it again. I have, so far, been walking for... So I had to restart the treadmill. I have been walking for 1 hour and 53 minutes. I finished on 5,000 steps on the first one. We've just got up to 3,000 on this one. So we're at 8,000 steps as it stands. 8,000 steps. Walking for 2 hours. Constantly. That's pretty good. Is this the kind of game where you pick a main and play on that, or are you forced to create ults? You can play as much as you want. Okay, immediately one hit killed. Which means we lose the map. That's not great. Yeah, there's definite improvements to be made. So what we then do is we change characters back to my stick boy, because every time I die I get salty and I don't want to carry on doing that. No one saw that coming. No one. I think steps count as less when done in genes. I think they count more when done in genes. Now what I do need to do is possibly refund some passives from this guy. So right now I need to actually take strength, well no, intelligence down and dex up. Let's see what happens. So right now we're on 67,000. If I go with intelligence down and dex up, 67 goes to 67.6, 68, 67, up, 68. Okay, so we're kind of bouncing back and forward based on how fast we're attacking. Right now, intelligence and strength are the same, so we can actually put intelligence into strength now. It's a delicate balancing game. 68. And I think intelligence now goes into dex. We want ideally all these basically the same. Intelligence into strength. We want to get that as close to 70 as possible. What if this goes into strength? And what if this now goes into... It's got to go into dex. Intelligence into dex. And then I'll show you something we haven't even done yet. Something that I've totally forgotten about. 69.7. Intelligence to strength. 69.3. 68. Ah, right. Now we're going down again. So now we actually want strength as the highest, so strength needs to go into intelligence. Ah, we're learning here. 69. And now we actually want dexterity into intelligence. That's an interesting switch. Dex into int. 69.7. Okay, that's pretty much as high as we're going to go. 69.7k. We stick it on Ice Strike, which is my favourite of the two. We actually got 93,000 damage. That's not bad. However, I think for the memes, 69k needs to continue. But let me show you something that I have completely neglected. One of the great strengths of this build is access to dual nodes. And right now, I am actually not using a load of dual nodes. So I'm going to use them instead. We're going to get quarterstaff dual nodes. Let's just bank these things straight away. Stick them in number 2. Go back to number 1. 16% increased attack damage with quarterstaves, 3% increased attack speed. That's good. 16%, 3% attack speed. That's good as well. 15%, 3% increased attack. That's also good. This is where the build kind of really kicks in. 4% increased attack speed, 13% increased damage. It's decent. It's not great. That one does not have attack speed, so we want to be careful with it. That one does basically nothing. That does have attack speed. Damage and attack speed with bows. We don't want bows. Right, so we've got all these gems here. Let's see what happens if we stick some of these gems in to the tree. Got a gem slot just here. Right now, Tempest Flurry is 69k. Goes to 71k. Got a spot just here. Tempest Flurry goes to 72. Got a spot free here. We can get Tempest Flurry up to 74. Got a spot down here. We can take it up to 77. This big bad boy down here gives us attack speed and quarterstaves for 79. This is where the gemling starts to shine. That's what the gemling does. Gemling has access to lots of gems. 16% increased damage with quarter staves. Yeah, we actually don't need those anymore. Cool, 79k. What would Ice Strike look like? Does Ice Strike go to over 100k now? Ice Strike now does 100,000 damage per second without buffs. Let me show you one of the cool buff things this has. So, attacks gain 35% of damage as cold damage for 3 seconds on freezing an enemy. Now, they're going to freeze an enemy quite quickly, so that 105k is going to increase. Grab a tier 4 Waystone. Let's throw some little sexy buffs up onto it. Maybe not exalt it. And throw you in here, see what happens. I'm going to do the Hidden Grotto. Number 4. What do we got? Increased magic pack size, lightning damage, increased rarity. I like it. What is my rarity of Ice Strike? Right. 44% rarity mod. It's not great, but it's better than nothing. Let's see what happens. Ice Strike is fast now. Now what I want you to look at is that number just there, 105k. Because as soon as I freeze an enemy, that number will change. Hopefully, to a higher number. 142k. Right, so that's what we're working with. Working with 142,000. Standard. We just hold down Ice Strike and blow things up. It's the whole plan. Hold down Ice Strike, explode things. Now I could switch that to Tempest Flurry. Increase the attack speed. Increase the area damage. More elemental damage. If I go with that, how fast does... Yeah, Tempest Flurry drains it way too quickly. So 79k. Let's just see what Tempest Flurry would do with this. This is the less powerful attack, but it moves faster. It works. It kind of works. I'll take it. Went Elemental Templar. Good. Elemental damage is fun. And grab the orbs as we go. I'm only really bothered about the orbs at this point. So was this part of my plan to play off meta? Oh no, I'm a filthy meta slave. The difference is that I don't have any of the items required to be meta. But everyone has been telling me, I've been watching the global chat in Path of Exile 2, which is a terrible idea, don't do that. But everyone in the global chat has been saying, oh, you can only be good if you play a build a YouTuber plays. And I thought, well, I'm a YouTuber, which means by virtue of just being that, every build I play is therefore good. So, if I die, it's the game's fault, not mine, because my build is objectively good by virtue of me playing it. You can disagree, but my logic is flawless. Logic is absolutely flawless. The amount of people in the chat, they're like, oh, you just got to listen to a YouTuber. And I'm sat there thinking, I am. And I'm still dying. At some point, I've got to accept the fact that the problem might be me. I don't want to accept that. That does not spark joy. That doesn't make me happy. Just out of curiosity, if I were to lose this defense, I would gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nodes. Would that be enough to go up there? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 8. I need 8 nodes to get to pure power, which would be a massive increase in lightning damage. But I would lose a huge amount of defense to be able to do it. And I'm not entirely sure if losing that defense is worth the increase in lightning damage. I'd die a lot in the process, yeah. That's kind of the problem. I feel I would lose a lot. Damage is good though with this, isn't it? Damage, clear speed's nice. And one of the cool things is because it is an attack, you don't get slowed as much, even if you do get caught. What I do need is a way to increase gold find. I need more gold find. Right now there's nowhere near enough. I've got 20% on that. Rings are doing okay with strength and dex. Intelligence, strength and dex. I need better rings. That's what I need. I'm going to have a look at some better rings. See if I can get more damage there. That's the plan. Sweet. Chaos Orb. Do increases in movement increase the treadmill? Not yet. We don't have the technology to do that yet. That's... Mankind is not that advanced. We aren't ready for that. One day maybe. But not today. So stay out of the ice. Keep attacking. Cool, map done. Nothing good from it though, which is a real shame. So the end game is pretty much just mapping. I bet Dug could rig the idea. He probably could. Dug is a very clever guy. Jeans on a treadmill doesn't look comfy. There's chafing going on, guys, but I suffer for my art. Why am I standing up? Got fat. Decided not to. That was the plan. Although, you know what? I feel like I might go to Center Parks for the next week. Because I'm just middle class enough to do that. Center Parks and Sherwood Forest. That might be my plan. Oh, by the way, in 2 months I'm going to Japan. So, if you see me around Japan, feel free to say hello. That's okay. That's totally okay. Why can't I see your desktop? This is not the way. I'll show you the desktop at some point in the future. Worry not. Right, got rid of all those. Bank all this. And we are done. Right, the treadmill is going to tell me to stop walking now because I've been walking for 2 hours in total. And it is Sunday. I've got to go and prepare. Genuinely going to Center Parks in the next weeks with the family. I believe the phrase that the English say, that makes me angry, but I need to say, is off on the hollybobs with the famalam. Now, part of me died when I said that. But that hurt. Part of me now thinks that I need to go and commit Sudoku. That's how annoying it is to hear that phrase. It's just a good thing that we're not going to skeg Vegas. Which is, again, another phrase that only the British people in this chat would understand. Sounds Scottish. No, the weak part of you. See, kill not the cringe. Kill only the parts of you that cringe. What am I even saying? Not skeg Vegas. Okay, so basically, going on a week-long holiday with some friends and family in order to go and walk around a forest for a bit. So, basically this, but with less Path of Exile. Anyway, it's Sunday. Go and enjoy the rest of your Sundays. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you next Saturday at 7 o'clock and Sunday at 4. I've got a big RuneScape 3 video coming out soon, so enjoy that when it releases. Till then, go and enjoy your weekend. Take care, good night, and God bless.